Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 3, and today we're taking a look at the 2015 Volvo V60 Polestar. So the V60 debuted in 2011 with the Polestar version debuting in 2014. And besides the revised engine that it has, which produces 346 horsepower and 368 pounds-feet of torque from its 3-litre twin-turbocharged inline-6 engine, it's got other upgrades on it as well compared to the standard V60. It's got a different suspension upgrades, including new dampers, 6-piston brakes by Brembo, and new sway bars. Cosmetic changes include 20-inch alloy wheels, different front and rear splitter, and also a interior stitching that complements the outer paintwork. So outside of the fact that it's obviously an estate version, it's broadly similar to the S60 really, especially in terms of styling from the front, which is no bad thing because the S60 is a fine looking car and actually a solid saloon car in general. So this is clearly based on solid underpinnings, and it's actually one of the more unique kind of estate cars out there. Because granted, it doesn't have as much power as your Merc or BMW or even Audi equivalents, but it's still a handsome looking car. It's got plenty of power. It's got all that all-wheel drive system as well to help you out with that power. And interior-wise, it's really rather smart. I do like the stitching. That's blue like the paintwork on the outside. And yeah, it's really rather simple, but it's got everything where you'd expect it to be. And it's not a over extreme dashboard machine gun by buttons. So since it's broadly similar to the S60, I'm going to take this out onto the circuit and see exactly how it differentiates between that car and this one. So yeah, let's go there and see what it can do. See you when we get there. Right, so here we are. Let's see what this car can do. So yeah, with that all-wheel drive system, plus the fact that it's got quite a lot of torque, it really pulls off the line and will no doubt inevitably help in terms of coming out of corners as well. So let's see what it can do. It's got a really nice sounding engine as well. Not many car companies do inline 6 engines anymore. BMW is certainly one of the last major car companies to be doing it alongside Volvo. But it's still really nice to see a car company using such an engine, because as you can hear, they always sound really rather good. And Volvo's done a really stand-up job of keeping that engine noise really rather nice without sacrificing it for with the turbos. So yeah, in terms of acceleration, this car can do 0 to 60 in 4.982 seconds, 0 to 113.3 seconds, and going to a top speed of 169 miles an hour, which is really rather impressive. Obviously it's not as quick as some cars in its class, because a lot of cars in this class have way more power than this, but for a car that doesn't even have 350 horsepower, that's still really rather impressive. And it handles its 3,985 pounds in weight really rather well as well. Don't want to continue. But yeah, and that's despite the fact that it weighs more than the S60 that it's based on. It weighs 301 pounds more than that car. Now granted, it does have a little bit of extra horsepower. It has 1 horsepower more, but it also has 1 pound-feet of torque less. So yeah, broadly they're similar. But despite obviously this having the extra weight, it's not all that much slower. The S60 can do 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. So that's 0.282 seconds quicker than this, which isn't all that much more extra considering how much more weight this car has. And the S60 can do 0 to 100 in 13.3 seconds, so exactly the same as this car. And the top speed is broadly similar as well, at about 166 or 167 miles an hour. So yeah, they're pretty much the same car. But obviously the advantage with this car is greater boot space, being the most obvious one. But it's also a little bit more unique, because you're really not going to find any other car company doing something as refined and as tame as this. And tame in a good way, because yes, it has a healthy amount of horsepower, but it's also got that all-wheel drive in place to help it along as well, which if it had more power, that all-wheel drive system would start to become compromised. So with that amount of power being clearly plenty enough to get it to a high rate of top speed and to 60 mile an hour in under 5 seconds, means that the all-wheel drive is more than capable of handling that power, no matter what you do to it. So it's going to be a great handling car no matter what, which means it's more user-friendly, it's more usable in everyday conditions, and especially in the kind of conditions that you'd want this car to deal with, like, oops, missed that checkpoint, to deal with like snow or any kind of like mild off-roading or anything like that. This car can more than handle, because again, it's not dealing with a stupid amount of power for a car that's, you know, a family car that's going to be used on the road a lot. And quite frankly, how much power do you really need in a car like this? You don't really need much more than this, if any more at all. This is certainly a healthy amount. So yeah, a cracking car, and I do prefer it to the S60. I know it's got that extra weight, but you really can't feel it all that much, to be honest. I think they've done a grand job of hiding that weight, and the only real evidence of that weight is the slightly slower 0 to 60 time. So yeah, looks great, handles really well, it's got great power, sounds really good. It's way more practical than the S60 version, and yeah, really rather unique in this kind of class. It's just a grand car, really. Perfect all-rounder. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.